Do you know that old saying, April showers bring May flowers? Well, that's definitely been the case here at Lily Brook this spring. But according to the weather, the clouds are supposed to part today, and so I want to show you guys a garden tour of Lily Brook in April. I really do hope that the weatherman is right, because we still have so much cleanup to do. We've got leaves to clear out and just so many things left to do before gardening season really ramps up. Guys, this is Jerry. He's our wounded goose. He lives here on the pond. I don't know what happened to him, but his one leg is completely non-functional, and he stays here at the pond, and he's nice and safe. And we put out some bird seed and things for him too. But yeah, we actually have quite a few Canadian geese over here. We actually have a nest, so we'll have goslings. We have 3 nests around the pond, but this is their favorite nesting spot, right under these trees and by the power for the fountain that aerates the pond. That is their favorite spot. They fight over it every year. And there is the male right there, making sure I don't get too close. And honestly, for Canadian geese, they don't bother us much. I know that people say they can be really mean, and I know that they can be territorial, but they're pretty cool, except for when they have, babies in their nest, their eggs in their nest. They do not like us around then. So we just give them their space. But honestly, I love them. They're a beautiful addition to the wildlife here. So guys, the sun finally shined this afternoon. I'm so excited because I really wanted to show you the spring blooms that we have in our gardens here at Lily Brook today before they go away, right? They only last a short time, so I wanted to share them with you. We actually spent a good part of our morning pumping out our sunken garden. When we turned the old broken pool into the sunken garden on our property, we did install drains, but even the drains couldn't keep up with this much water. So we had to put the sump pump in there and drain it out, but it's good to go now. If you haven't seen the video about how we turned the pool into a sunken garden, you can check that out on my channel. But let's get started going through the different gardens we've created here at Lily Brook. Just on a side note, when we bought this house 5 years ago, I think there was maybe a lilac bush, a couple of azaleas, and a couple rhododendrons, and that was it. Everything else on the property was grass. So everything you see today, my husband and I DIY'd and created, and we still have a lot more that we'd like to do here. Let's start here at the garden gate. On this arbor here, I have purple clematis, and they are starting to come up, but they usually don't bloom until early summer, late spring, early summer. Welcome to my gardens. The first thing you see is the brick walkway and this sweet little fountain that I got many years ago, and it has traveled from house to house with me. And these are my hydrangeas here. Now, I didn't trim them back because I actually like the winter interest of those, but I will be trimming them back very shortly. I've got some daffodils down here. And then underneath the hydrangeas, I always plant supertunias so that they spill out onto the walkway. They always look so beautiful. And some of my tulips have started coming up. Some of them have gotten eaten by squirrels. This is a favorite spot for squirrels. I don't know why. I have started bringing out some of my statuaries and decor into the gardens, but not all of it. Much of it I store in the greenhouse so that so that they don't get ruined in the winter. I live in Pennsylvania, Garden Zone 7A, so we do have snow and cold and ice and all that kind of stuff in the winter. And this is the back porch. We spend so much time out here in the summer. These are the terrace gardens. You can see they have steps that lead down into other parts of our gardens. But this wraps around the whole back side of the house. I have a bunch of different things that I put in here as far as containers go. But one of them is porcelain, so that definitely has to go in the winter, and it hasn't made its way back out here yet. But you can see there's daffodils starting to come up, hyacinths, tulips. Look at that hyacinth. I love the color of that. So beautiful. And then in this bed, I have a bunch of perennials as well. I have coneflowers and daisies. There's not an inch to spare in the summer. I have this completely filled with perennials and annuals. And then in the lower bed, I have butterfly bushes. They're actually already starting to green up. Those bring not only butterflies, but dragonflies and hummingbirds, so we love those. Now, I will tell you that this addition onto my house needs to be painted desperately. That's something we're going to have to do this summer. But we installed these window boxes. I haven't planted the uppers yet because they tend to get more exposed to the elements. So I wait a little bit on those more towards summer before I plant those up. Over here, we have hostas because this is a shaded area. And along the other side of the porch, we have azaleas. And these sweet little pieces of art I got from the Philadelphia flower show. There's an artist there who makes those. And every year as my souvenir, I get one. I just think they're so sweet. Many of the items you see, I got at thrift stores, or I've been collecting them. This I got for, I think, $6. Look at the carvings on this. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's all the way around. There's carvings on it too. So I'm just always on the hunt looking for garden decor. Sometimes I make my own garden decor. Here's another thrift shop find. And I just put plants on those. We have a little fountain there. And over here, I've planted up for spring. I put a little teacup in there because inside these windows is my kitchen. And there's a little bee. This arrangement has brought me so much joy every time I walk into my house. Just all these colors. You can hear my dog Gracie barking. She knows it's me, but she's still gonna bark at me. This I usually plant up with annuals, trailing annuals. I got this at a thrift shop too. Isn't that so cool? It's gigantic. We had to double reinforce it so it didn't rip our little porch down. That's how heavy it is when it gets the dirt and the plants in it. But I haven't planted that up. Most of the things, because I'm in Pennsylvania, are not, blooming yet, but all of our trees are in bloom. So, our spring trees. So I want to show those to you. So actually, let's go this way and I'll show you lower garden. So we just come down the stairs here. Here's some more things that are starting to come up over here. Oh, look at this daffodil. Oh, look at the center. So pretty. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Again, some winter interest here. And yes, guys, it's kind of busy today because it is after work, so everybody's coming home on the street to eat their dinner and see their families, so you might hear cars zooming by. And these my husband got for me off Etsy, and I usually put these over in the potager. He just stuck them here for right now, but since it's our kitchen garden, I have a bunch of really pretty decor that would be good for a kitchen garden. Over here is our lower garden. These are all roses here. And this is our weeping cherry. I just love this tree, and actually I loved it so much that I planted another one in the front yard. It's just gorgeous this time of year. And they do get little cherries. They're not edible for humans, but the birds love them. So it's a nice natural resource, food source for the birds. You can see my rose bushes are starting to bloom out. Just a little sweet spot you can sit. And then over here, I wanted these to look like old windows because I thought they were just so pretty. This is our garage, and there's this giant white wall, right? And I wanted it to be a nice backdrop for this garden, not just a white siding wall. So over the last couple of years, I collected these different vintage looking windows. They're not actually windows, they're just decor, but I thought they were really, really pretty. You'll see our balcony up there. The house, by the way, was built in 1803. It is built with stone, and they stuccoed it at some point. And then they kept adding on to the house, as they do sometimes with these old houses. So this was the original footprint here. And then they added on this section here with all those doors. That's our conservatory. And they added that balcony above. Now you can see there's some boxwood boxes up there, and that's to create privacy from the road. But this summer, I'm going to create a jungle up there of plants. That's one of my major projects I want to do. Of course, I'll make a video of that. And then this part of the house was added on too. That's the kitchen. So there was no kitchen in this house other than a giant fireplace. You guys can see a walk through the inside of the house in one of my videos on my channel if you'd like to see that. Now, when we moved in, this was a broken down pool that was not savable. And so we turned it into a sunken garden, and we refinished the concrete patio. My son loves riding his bike there. And on the side of the garage here, we just have a nice little fountain. We don't live way out in the country. We live in a town, but we have 7 acres here. So we have a decent piece of land. But we do have some road noise, as you guys may have heard, close to the house. So I try to put in quite a bit of water features to kind of mask that and to make it just feel like an oasis. This is architectural salvage that I picked up. It was a balcony, and I pushed the 2 pieces together, and I just love it. I planted sunflowers in those. Obviously, I need to clean them out. The end of the year was so crazy last year. There's just so much clean out I have to do still, but it was so pretty. I'm really glad that I picked that up. It's a really neat piece. And here's just a place where we hang out. The little living room, outdoor living room set, and then we eat dinner out here all the time in the summer. As you guys can see, the boxwoods are looking fantastic here, and this was just filled with black-eyed Susans. I love this part of my garden so much that I'm going to extend. So the black-eyed Susans ended right here, and I'm going to extend them all along the conical boxwoods as well. And I've planted so many black-eyed Susan seeds in the greenhouse, and they are all coming up just beautifully. So I can't wait to get those in, because then it'll just be black-eyed Susans all the way around. Now you guys can see some of these conical boxwoods look pretty unhappy, which is surprising to me because these ones look amazing. Same dirt, you know, same everything. I don't know if it's like they just don't like being shaped. I don't know, but we may have to replace a few of these, which is just kind of sad. But we'll see. I'm going to trim them up. Like this one. This one's green, but it it looks a little sad. I don't know. But I do love the conical boxwoods here. I think they're just gorgeous. But over here is our topiary garden. We just did a video on this as well. So we planted the 2 inner rings last year, and we just did this outer ring. So that's why it's just dirt in here, because we're waiting just a couple more weeks till it warms up. And then I have all different types of daisies. I think the yellow daisies are called buttercream. They're so beautiful. And then I have all different colors of white. So I'm going to do a large ring of white and yellow daisies in here. So you'll have white and yellow here. And then as you come over here, it'll be a sea of black-eyed Susans, which I think will be just so gorgeous. Okay, so now I'm going to take you to the sunken garden that we pumped out today. I probably won't walk around here too much because it's still pretty muddy, but yeah, so down here we have climbing roses, and these are giving me a blank. Honeysuckle, that's what it is. Honeysuckle, which draws in the hummingbirds so wonderfully. They just love this plant. I'm telling you, if you plant honeysuckle, it will go wild. So you have to be, you know, it loves to just take over. So you have to be very cautious about where you plant it. But if you want hummingbirds in your yard, in your gardens, plant this because you will have it. You'll have them. Here we had a beautiful climbing rose, but it got rosette, so we had to take that out. Same on this side, all climbing roses here. And then you can see the honeysuckle is already ready to go. I'm going to plant a bunch of that over on the labyrinth walled garden. And down there, I have a hydrangea that's blooming up. Let me see if I can get over there without sinking too far in. It really was so flooded. It's dried out pretty good though. It's not too bad. So you can see all the hydrangeas are budded up. And this is a David Austin climbing rose over here. And it gets massive. I did trim this guy back, believe it or not. So he's getting all budded up. This was architectural. I got it from an architectural salvage. It's not really salvage, but I just really loved that piece. So it came home. I've been collecting pieces for many, many years. And they just, anytime we've had a starter home and moved, it just came with us. This bed, this giant mess of a bed, you can see all through here. This was our wildflower garden, and also it had hibiscus and lavender, and my goodness, the weeds went crazy at the end of the year, and it was such a massive spot. We just like totally lost control of this. It looks, you know, pretty yucky right now, but once it stops raining, we'll be out here and we're gonna clean this all out. We're gonna plant some more bushes in here and more perennials, and it will be lovely when it's done. So I want to take you over to the stream, or brook, the brook from Lily Brook. You can see over there, that's where we store our wood. So we do heat with wood. The greenhouse and potager. This is actually a canopy bed, but since it's been raining so much, we haven't put up the canopy yet. But this is my favorite spot to read a book, take a nap, and I'll show you why. So here is the stream. So when you look that way, you see the stream. And then when you're sitting here this way, you see the pond. So it's quite a lovely spot to relax. Here is our flowering pear. Yes, I couldn't remember for a minute if it was a plum or a pear, but it is a pear. You can see the pretty pink little blooms on it. It's just so pretty. And it survived. My husband accidentally backed the tractor into this poor tree when it was first planted. Poor little baby. But it has decided it wants to live, and look at how big it's gotten. It's gotten very big. So I'm happy because I really love this tree. And in the summer, it has these like purple leaves instead of green. It's just stunning. Over here, I planted 3 magnolias. You can see they're about to open up. They're still quite small, but they're still blooming, which is awesome. And then here is the labyrinth. So guys, we have a heavy duty chain on this. Look at this padlock though. Isn't that cute? Because the wind will blow these doors open, and then the deer come in here and they annihilate all the plants in here. So we have to make sure we keep it closed. And this is the labyrinth. Not much happening in here yet, guys, because we're still building this, but you can see that I planted some ivy. And the game plan for this space is everywhere you see all this lattice, this is all going to be walls of green. So instead of waiting 30 years for some yew to grow up to make into the walls, we used lattice instead. We've been working on this for a couple years now. And it's pretty muddy in here because, like I said, we got so much rain. We are still working on it. This room, I planted one lonely little hydrangea, and over here I planted wisteria. This whole space in here we're going to plant up. We're going to sink stanchions, hopefully really decorative ones, and then we're going to do some kind of pergola over the top, and then we're going to plant wisteria in this entire middle space. And here's wisteria that I planted last year, and guys, the deer munched on it pretty good, but it's already grown back up here. It's already budding up. So there's a lot of rooms we're going to be working on in here, and excuse our mess, there is still construction going on in this space. So this is the orchard room. And many of our fruit trees are budding up. They're still little tiny babies. And we planted an espalier tree. I actually made a video about this a couple weeks ago. And I just think these are so cool. So we just planted it. And I'm like, I wonder how it's doing. Guys, it's got buds on it, so, and blooms. So it's doing very, very well. It likes this spot. Very excited. I cannot wait to see that with apples on it. It's going to be so pretty. We do own the forest around this property as well. And eventually we would love to put in a wooden walkway. So my husband actually measured it out. He said if we went the whole perimeter of the property, I can't remember, twice or something, it was like a mile. It's like, how cool would it be to just go for a walk in the morning through the forest and around the gardens? You know, like life goals. So eventually I'd like to put a wooden walkway in the forest down there. I don't want to walk down there right now because, like I said, there's geese nested. We have 3 different couples of geese sitting on eggs down there. So, but I will take video when they have their goslings because it is so cute and I can't wait to share it with you guys. let's head over to the potager. So right out the back side of my kitchen is the potager. And it's actually, you have to walk downstairs to get to it. It's kind of sunken down in. And my husband and I, we built all these beds in here. And he got me the moon gate for Christmas one year, which I love. Last year I planted these roses on this moon gate, and they have gotten so big already. Look at that. This one especially. And it's all green, which I love to see. I'm not sure. I'm trying to see if I could see what the tag says, what it is. It's not a Dave & Austin, I know that, but I can't remember what exactly they are. I'll have to look for the tag. It's probably buried in the leaves right now. And as you can see, there's lots of tulips coming up in the beds. And then womp womp, look at this. Here and here, my lab and my Boston Terrier. So I'm gonna have to make some sort of cute little fence for these so that they can't do that. And guys, we already need to mow the grass here. It's like crazy. We never have to mow the grass this early. For real. It's all this rain. And we mulched this last year, and we still have a big pile, so we had to come in and fill in more mulch in here because it was really thick, but you know, over the winter it just needs to be refreshed. Here's another fountain I've had for several years in the center. Then of course the greenhouse, I did a whole tour of the greenhouse. You can find that on my channel. You can see all the tulips are starting to come up. Thankfully, my dogs have not dug these up, thankfully. And all these stone walls and things my husband and I built too. None of this was here. So then if you go through this gate, and we do plant food and flowers in the potager. It's gated to keep the animals out, but we gated this when we first moved in because we have dogs and we didn't want them getting hit by a car, so we wanted to keep them safe. So there you have it, guys, an April garden tour here at Lily Brook. I'm so happy you decided to spend some time with me today. I hope you'll consider subscribing so that we can spend more time together. It would really help my channel a lot if you would subscribe, and I would greatly appreciate it. I can't wait for this summer, guys. We're gonna do so many cool things in the garden, I think, and I'm very excited. Let me know in the comment section below what you plan on planting in your gardens, or if you're creating a new flower bed. I would love to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye. Before I forget, guys, I didn't show you the terraced gardens from down below. So to about here, it gets a good amount of sun. And then on the back side of the house, it's shade. So I have a lot of hostas I've planted in here. I plan on getting more, but look at, guys, the weeds already. It looks like I have grass in here. Like I never planted any flowers, but I promise I did. It's just, the weeds are just because of all the rain, right? I've got to clean leaves out. So I've got my work cut out for me. But, oh my gosh, I told my husband this plan. He's like, thankfully he likes gardening and he loves this kind of stuff too. So he's on board. But I thought it would be so cool right here to dig this out, move the hostas out of this little spot here, and then put in like a little waterfall. Like that is my kitchen window. All of these are my kitchen windows here. Put a little waterfall feature here that went down into a pond here. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be gorgeous? Then when I opened the window, I could have this little pond feature here. I don't know. I don't know when it'll ever be enough because I just love gardening. So if, we're here for any length of time, which we plan to be, I will just always keep adding because it just brings me and my family so much joy. I just think that would be a really neat project. So let me know what you guys think. What would you do with this spot? definitely I know you'd weed it. I hear you. I'm on it.